I'm just going to explain a bit about one of the current things I'm working on. So you can see here, I got a bunch of pieces, and you can see BL, BR, FL, FR. That's front right, front left, back right, back left. Those are going to be the stencils for the legs. These are going to be the stencils for the antlers. That's the stencil for the body, and this is the stencil for more of the additional of the body. So I already got a few pieces cut. This is all being cut from reclaimed oak. Also back to the patterns, this is all reclaimed wood that is, you can see it's fairly thin, but this was all wood paneling in my basement. And that's why you can kind of see there's these lines. It's just the decoration, as it were, on them. For example, this was one of the pieces, and you can see where I've already cut chunks and stuff out. But basically, this is wood paneling that's actually currently on my walls, but it's not something I'm keeping. And there was some areas where there was damage, and I had to remove it to get at other pieces and stuff. And so every once in a while, if I need a little bit more, I kind of cut out more of it because, like I said, I'm not keeping any of this on the walls, which I know makes some of my walls in my basement look pretty silly. There's just pieces missing, but it's a way I can use material, and sometimes I need material, and like I said, it's something that I'm eventually going to remove completely, and this way it's not getting thrown away, it's getting used. But back to the actual project, I have a few pieces already cut. This one was mainly from a piece of oak from a pallet stringer, as it were. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. I got another example here. So it was came from something quite similar to this. So you can kind of see it was more or less like that. And if I zoom in a bit more, you can kind of see that there's a secondary piece that's a little bit different color. So I did have to add a little bit more to get to the full width that I needed. But that allowed me to use some of this pallet wood, which, just due to the shape and because there's nail holes and voids and whatnot, sometimes is a little difficult to use. And even on this one, I will show there was still a nail hole. Unfortunately, I thought I was going to miss it, but still got a bit of it. I did fill it with oak from one of the offcuts. So it's still all solid oak. There is, as you can see, a little bit of discoloration, but I might end up staining this, and if I do, you probably won't notice that. But as I may have mentioned in other of my videos, I never try to hide it. I always like to use reclaimed material, and you can even see here there's a big knot, and you can kind of see the dark lines. Those have all been stabilized with a combination of actually CA glue and epoxy. On this side, it was mostly the CA glue, just so it kind of seep in and settle better. On this side, before planing, this was much worse, and that was more of the epoxy. And maybe that doesn't look great right now, but the whole thing with these layered animals is once the other piece gets glued on. Let's see if I here we go. It hides a lot of that, but also it's not necessarily that I'm trying to hide it. It's just I'm trying to use material. So yeah, that'll get glued on here. That'll be on the other side. And then there may be more from this, or my, as I've mentioned and always kind of joked about, the quote bucket of oak that never empties. Also, why I'm trying to do some of these is just because I don't know why, but it just seems my oak bucket, no matter how much I use, I still fill back up. But anyways, I'm gonna get the legs and the antlers and all that out of there, and to finish this. So this will be 100% reclaimed oak from mainly pallet wood and offcuts. Some of it might be from my kitchen drop ceiling. Some of it might be from job site offcuts. But as of right now, this main body and these pieces are all pallet material, just different pieces of the pallet. Like I mentioned, this was from kind of like one of these stringers. And then these were actually from a plank, and actually they came from the same plank, and I managed to lay it out. Not quite. See if I can get the something like that. You can kind of see how the grain matches, but that was just one plank, and honestly the plank was only this big because it was just in between stuff and very, very minimal waste. But yeah, this is just one of the current things working on, using up some oak, and the final product will be a caribou. um, I have another pattern very similar to this that's a moose, and honestly it looks very, very similar, body, leg wise. The main difference on the patterns is the antlers. There is some other differences, but that's the main one. But anyways, this particular one will be a caribou, and as I said, it's just lots of reclaimed wood. Trying to reduce my oak bucket as much as I can, and then even the offcuts from these I'm using for some other smaller layered animals that I haven't quite shown yet. That I will be. I haven't shown any of the cutting on them. It'll probably just be a video on the finished piece. But yeah, that's it for now.